Greetings, brawlers. Welcome back to Throwing Hands. This is our first review in a really long time, Breck.
True. Very true.
Initial thoughts on this card.
This is a really good one. We talked about the cards not being good before this and how we said this one and then the rest of the year leading into next year is great. And I don't know how you felt. It delivered for me. So many good fights, so many good finishes, unexpected events happened. Like we're talking about the ref incident right before we went live here, and it was a good night overall.
It was a good night overall. So we're gonna touch on a couple prelims. Makwan Amirkhani. I talked to Daniel. Daniel saw him in the Shadow Realm after Lerone Murphy landed that knee on. Yes.
Wow. So Daniel's alive.
He's alive. I talked to him. He saw Makwan Amirkhani in the Shadow Realm. Did you see that knockout, Breck?
I did.
That was brutal.
It was brutal. My first thought was like, is that a knee to a downed opponent? It almost was. Like Amirkhani, if he went to a knee, that would have been an illegal strike. But
you still learn from Aljo.
You gotta learn from Aljo, bro. That's how you do it. You go down and you get the belt. But Lerone Murphy he timed it perfectly.
He's good, man.
He's really good. I'm still undefeated. And I read a story. I think it's him this week that he got shot in London years back, like spat out the bullets and walked to the hospital and checked himself in. He got shot in the face like 3 times.
Savage.
That's just like definition of built different.
Definitely. Did you watch the Gamzatov Olasejic fight?
I didn't watch it live. I just watched the highlight knockout, to be honest.
Yeah, that was a nasty uppercut. We already touched on this before. Well, we talked about this before, but the referee Dos Santos versus Saint Denis should never ever ref a fight again. He put on his Mazzagatti pants and his Mario Yamasaki shirt, and did his thing, man. Did you see the Mario Yamasaki thing I sent to you?
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Hey, he's a legend. Yeah, it was bad. Like the announcers, Mark Goddard, a great ref, was by the side, like beside himself. I saw something too, like that guy who was the ref was like an 0-4 MMA fighter. So people were like, he's taking out his frustrations on these current fighters. But yeah, we've seen some bad refs, and like I was telling you, people like how these refs make it, and it's like when you have events in different places, the commissions you need a commission ref like in these. So this is one of the refs that the commission said had to be on the card, and he was on the card, and they took him. It's the same thing with judging. It's like the commission appoints judges, even though some of them are terrible. Like, what's the judge? Is it Christopher Lee? Oh, that guy makes he has some of the worst scorecards of all time consistently.
Yeah, it's bad. It's so bad. But all right, did you watch Duraev Kopylov?
I did not. Yeah.
Shout out Roman Kopylov from coming back from the Shadow Realm after the second round. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, this Hamos Tukagov fight was really good.
Mm-hmm.
It was really solid. Tukagov's a problem, I think, in this division.
Well, I mean, any of those is he a Russian, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Russians are kind of taking over mixed martial arts, which we'll get to later. But dude, just looking at the last prelim, dude, we have to talk about Virna's walkout song.
I wanted to die.
You wanted to die? I mean, Ariel Helwani said that if somebody walked out to Island Boy, he would immortalize them on the MMA wall, for the MMA hour, and he did it today.
You got to respect him for following through on that.
Yeah, you got to respect it. Amanda Hebus looked good, though.
She looked really good, actually.
Look, she's been improving.
Her striking looked very fluid.
Yeah, she looks good. It was a good fight.
Let's take a look at the rankings here and see whom they should fight next. Janji Doba, I'd like to see her fight Angela Hill.
Yeah, I saw people on Twitter talking about that as a potential matchup.
That's a really good fight, I think.
Really good fight.
Yeah, and she hasn't fought Angela Hill from what I've seen, so that's a good fight. For Amanda Hebus, I think Michelle Watterson would be a good fight.
Yeah. Where's Michelle Waterson in terms of
Ninth.
she's ninth? Yeah, it would be. That'd be a good
Just
one.
don't want to see any more Michelle Waterson main events.
Yeah.
I
Or
don't care how she gets them.
Amanda Ribas, Tisha Torres would be a fun one too.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That'd be a scrap.
That'd be a banger, bro.
Would.
Another banger, Claudia Gadelha, Nina Nunes. That'd be a good fight too.
Yeah. That'd be going.
Shout out to her wife, Amanda Nunes, who's going to murder Juliana Pena in the coming months.
Correct.
All right. To the first bout of the main card, Magomed Ankalaev defeats Volkan Oezdemir by decision. I think Magomed Ankalaev played the fight correctly. You know, he didn't storm in, because if he stormed in, he probably would have gotten caught and knocked out. I'm impressed by him. He's really good. I think Ankalaev should fight Rakic.
Yeah, I was telling you that'd be perfect. I thought Oezdemir opened up the fight well. He won the first round. It looked like things were going well. And then the adjustments Ankalaev made going into the second were huge. I mean, Ankalaev's so good, man. I mean, not to take anything away from Oezdemir, who I thought, even though he lost, fought a good fight as well. You could definitely tell, too, when he got that cut above his eye, he couldn't throw those punches the same way he was in the first.
That was a nasty cut.
His blood was in that eye, so he was one-eyed basically most of that fight. And, man, it's like Oezdemir is so good, too. It's like he has a lot of losses recently, but he's fought so many good guys.
Yeah, I mean,
Ankalaev's definitely a top guy.
I mean, if you look at whom Oezdemir's fought, it's insane.
It's insane.
And he's really he's really very good. He's extremely good. And I just feel like, honestly, light heavyweight's pretty stacked if you think about it.
It's stacked with up and coming talent.
Yeah, you're right about that.
It's honestly a weak division compared to a lot of the other divisions. It might be the weakest, actually.
And give it 4 years.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you give it a couple of years, a lot of these younger guys, like it'll be a murderer's row in a couple of years once these young guys.
Let's take a look at his last 7 fights. Lost to Daniel Cormier, lost to Anthony Smith, lost to Dominic Reyes, split decision. No, he knocked out Ilir Latifi. He split decision to Rakic that he won.
Yeah.
Got sent to the shadow realm by Yuri Prohaska.
Most people do.
And then a decision loss to Magomed Ankalaev. He gets no breaks.
No breaks.
I mean, Ilir Latifi maybe, but
he should look to fight the lower rankings and stack some wins, you know? Because I think 10 through 15, he could beat everybody.
Yeah, Johnny Walker would be a great fight next.
Yeah. I would think he would beat Johnny Walker. Like, I was so unimpressed with Johnny Walker in his last fight.
I mean, that was the most boring fight of the year so far, except Rakic Smith.
Yeah, he didn't.
No, Rakic Santos, rather.
Yeah. I know Walker didn't get hit in that fight, but, like, that was his main goal, was to knock it. You know what I mean? He threw no offense. He just avoided every punch.
Yeah. So Ankalaev, since I don't know if you heard about Anthony Smith, but he has a partial MCL tear.
Mm-hmm.
Ankalaev should step right in and fight Rakic before the end of the year.
I wouldn't hate it. That could be – it'd be tough because, like, you got to think Jiri's going to fight Glover probably sometime in the spring.
I know Yuri wants it tomorrow, probably.
I know he probably wants it tomorrow. He's going to want to fight him, you know, March, April, probably. That's Glover said he wants, like, a few months off, which I feel like you deserve it. And then you look at the top of the division, and it's like, well, who does Jan fight? Does Jan fight Rakic?
I think he fights Anthony Smith when he gets healthy.
When he gets healthy. And then Rakic fights Ankalaev. See, the thing about Rakic Ankalaev that sucks is, like, that's probably a number one contenders fight, but it might not be. Like, the winner might fight the winner of, like, Jan versus Anthony Smith. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
There's lots there.
Yeah.
All right. Boars. Khamzat Chimaev is a savage. What can we say?
Dude, I need people to, like, this guy's fighting for the title within a year, no?
6 months.
6 months he's fighting for the title. I think whatever happens between Colby Usman, the winner might fight Chimaev in 6 months' time. Because you got to think Chimaev's going to face like a top 5 guy next, like maybe a Gilbert Burns. And if he can get past the Gilbert Burns, like he's fighting for the title.
My friend Jean made a good point. If you look at the rankings, yes, Leon Edwards should get the title shot next if he wins. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you rather see Khamzat versus Usman for the title next than Leon Edwards?
Yes. Because I think Chimaev has a much better chance at beating Usman than Leon does.
And while, Luque might be more deserving, or if, Masvidal gets the dub and he beats Leon Edwards, he might be more deserving. But that's the fight we want to see. And you know what the UFC is really good at doing? Giving us the fights we want to see. Hendo Bisping too. Terrible fight to make for the title. But did we want to see that? Yeah. Absolutely.
I know people make fun of that fight. It's like, okay, but we wanted, but like all the fans wanted that.
Exactly. So there is a universe where Khamzat Chimaev could be next for the title shot, and I don't think it's impossible.
I don't think it's impossible. I don't think it happens personally.
Neil Magny wants to fight him.
See, to me, that's a good fight. I think Chimaev wins. It's another win. So then he would have beaten 2 ranked guys in a row, and then he could just wait, and they could give him. You know what I mean? Like if he beats Magny, he wouldn't even need to fight a top 5 guy, in my opinion. He could just beat Magny, and then they're like, okay, Usman needs 4 months to recover. Then you're going to fight Usman for the belt, in January, February.
I mean, I think Chimaev said he wants December. Fight in December.
So that makes perfect sense because you fight Magny, win, and then you fight Usman
or Covington.
Well,
here's the thing: if Covington wins, trilogy's next.
Yeah, that's you gotta think they're probably they have to. So then you're looking at Chimaev fighting a top 5 guy like a Wonder Boy, or can you imagine Khamzat versus Wonder Boy? As much as I love Wonder Boy, he'd get mauled. He'd get mauled to death.
Maybe. I think Wonder Boy is such a high level striker; it'd be a hard puzzle for him to solve.
I do get it, but like
Wonder Boy would have to get him out of there in the first round.
That's what I'm saying. If Wonder Boy can't like get him on the feet quickly, dude, and he lands one takedown, we saw with Burns, like it's over.
Dude, it was crazy. Like Khamzat literally grabbed Li Jingliang, went over to Dana White, had a conversation with him.
He was having a conversation with the president of the UFC cage side while he was carrying a guy who, if you look at the video and the photos, is struggling to get out, like using all of his might to get out, and he can't. and dude, like the craziest stat, he's had 4 UFC fights. He's been hit twice, or once or twice.
One significant strike.
One significant strike. Dude, look at the striking numbers for this fight. Lee got he didn't throw a punch. He threw 1 punch. He threw like a little mini hook when he was like in the clinch in the beginning. I don't even really count that as a punch.
No.
Bro, it's insane. Like,
will by the end of 2022, will Khamzat Chimaev be the champ?
I don't know if he'll be the champ. Like he's such a good fighter. I feel like if he fought Usman, like maybe they go 4 or 5 rounds and it's really close and he loses at a split decision or something like that. But he's so young. I think within 2 or 3 years he's champ. Like he will fight for the belt within a year. Maybe he doesn't win, but in the rematch, I think he would win.
Like I can't see anybody in the top 10 except Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman that beat him. Maybe Gilbert Burns.
I would put Gilbert Burns there. So I think those 3 guys could beat him. Outside of that, I don't know who beats him. I really don't know who beats him.
He's a puzzle. So what's next for Li Jingliang, man? Daniel Rodriguez. I don't want to see that fight. That'd be a fun fight.
I would like to see it. It would be more of an entertaining fight just because Rodriguez, and it would be a really good like stand-up fight.
Yeah. Daniel Rodriguez, low-key a dark horse in the division.
I don't know about dark horse. He's definitely could be a top 10 guy.
Dude, I'm excited for the Hamzat Hermansson wrestling match.
Yeah, should be good. You know
Now,
what's crazy about the Chimaev fight too is like we barely got to see any of his. Like we didn't see a ton of his striking. We saw like a little bit, but like
you don't need to.
Once he like grabbed him, it was over.
Crazy. I will say about the 85ers, Hermansson should not be slept on.
No, but I mean, Hermansson's so good on the ground, but on the feet, I don't know if he has what it takes to be a top guy. Just like I look at the Shabazian fight, Shabazian was kind of working him on the feet,
Yeah,
so I don't know.
I agree. We didn't talk about this, but what were your thoughts on Marvin Vettori, man?
Marvin Vettori, Paulo Costa.
Yeah. Great fight.
Great fight. Marvin's blockhead came into play like Israel Adesanya said he would. It's crazy too. Paulo Costa is like now going to be fighting at 205. We forgot to mention him in the mix. He'll be immediately a ranked guy, you'd think, right? Like a top
6.
I mean, I don't know. Do they put him like? I mean, he just lost at 205.
No, they gotta have him fight someone first, make him unranked, and fight someone top 6 or something. Yeah, because dude, I think he could become a champ in that division.
I think so too.
Dude, he looked so big.
So big, and he won't have a problem making 205. But
did you know that Marvin Vettori landed the most significant strikes in a light heavy bout?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Well, I mean, it makes sense. There was 2 middleweights fighting, so you know what I mean. But or one middleweight, one light heavyweight. But
I loved how they said Marvin Vettori has the manliest scream in MMA. We know who it is.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It's like this is the greatest scream, and it's like no, our boy Yuri coming out the lake, nothing beats it.
All right. The sleeper. This wasn't a bad fight. I think the pace was just different. You know what I mean?
Bad fight, but it wasn't a good fight.
It was an okay fight.
It was an okay fight. Like I wasn't upset that it wasn't a great slugfest, but it wasn't.
Volkov's having trouble pulling the trigger.
Yeah,
these last 2 fights.
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird too because like he beat up Alistair Overeem. I know it's older Alistair Overeem, but he looked so good in that fight. And you're like, if you could just throw with the amount of output that you threw in that fight, you could be beating these guys. Like I know he lost to Cyril Gane, but he never really threw any punches. If he just threw more against Cyril Gane, I know people think Cyril Gane's gonna be champ, but it would have been a close fight. That's how good Volkov is. Like
there were some points where Volkov could have teed off on Tabora, like with the left down the pipe or something like that. And he just didn't do it. It was a really he's been so tentative these last 2 fights. I don't know why.
Maybe just trying to save himself. I don't know. I mean, he's had
like 50 fights.
Yeah, that's the thing. Maybe injuries too. We never really know. Could be fighting through an injury.
I mean, he fights 3 times a year.
Yeah. That's what I like about the guy too. He always fights. He's always fighting,
Yeah.
So was Tabora.
Yeah, Tabora fights a lot too. Tabora, I don't know what's next for this guy, man. He's in a weird position. I think
he's a really good fighter though, man. Like
Aspinall would be a good fight.
Yeah, I know he fought 4 fights this last year, Tabora, against lower competition, but like he didn't get knocked out by Volkov. He went with him. I know it was a hesitant Volkov, but I think it showed that Tabora is like he's a talented top 10 type guy.
Yeah, and then I don't know what's next for Volkov, man. Like this is the top 7 are locked up. Rosenstreich.
Yeah, I guess, right?
Yeah, because Blades and Dawkins are fighting. Then you got Lewis. No,
Lewis
Dawkins and Lewis.
Dawkins and Lewis.
Blades should that. I don't want to see that fight again. That was a boring ass fight.
Okay.
What?
Stipe doesn't have a fight.
I think Stipe destroys him, honestly.
I think he probably beats him up too, because if it's, Stipe would implement some wrestling, and then that's where Volkov's weak. But I mean, if they want to give Stipe like a win, just give him Volkov,
Yeah. Although I think Stipe wouldn't be satisfied with anything but a title shot.
Yeah, or a John Jones fight.
Stiopic.
Or Rosenstrike. Yeah, I don't know. It's so weird. Heavyweight and light heavyweight have some weird who fights who next.
Yeah. Makhachev Hooker, not much to say here. Makhachev immediately shoots the double. Dude, Dan wasn't tapping to that.
I thought he was gonna break it.
Dude, I literally looked away. I'm like, no, he's not tapping.
I thought he was gonna let him break it, and then I realized Dan did the smart thing, don't let the arm break. Could never be the same after. But it just sucks, man. He timed up the takedown so perfectly, and then you knew once it got to the ground, it was probably over. It's just so unfortunate that it happened so early. It's I feel like if we could have got just a little bit time on the feet, Dan could have got something going,
Yeah.
Who knows? He got, he said he got paid a ton, so good for him. But Islam, man, he's scary.
He's so good.
He's so good, man.
I don't know. All right, let's talk about Dan Hooker real quick. Where does he go? RDA? I think that's a good fight.
I think it's a good fight. I would love for Dan to fight stand-up fighters.
Tony. I want Tony.
Tony would be good. I mean, I think Tony Nate Diaz is what we need, really. But
yeah.
I think Hooker needs to fight.
How about the loser of Gaethje Chandler?
They're too high. They're too high, right?
No, but can you imagine the violence? Let's say Gaethje loses, which I don't think he will. Of Gaethje Hooker.
Yeah, I know we're looking at it from that point, but if you're looking from the rankings point, I think you gotta think they're gonna give him somewhere more lower on the.
I'd like to see McGregor.
That would be a really fun fight. I just don't know when McGregor's coming back, and I don't know if Hooker's a big enough name for McGregor. If the Max Holloway rumors are true, that would be. I need to see that more. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Hart's a good call. What about Gillespie?
That'd be fun.
That would be fun. Although I don't like the matchup per se for Hooker because he's another really good wrestler. But
let's say Chandler loses. Oh well, they already fought. That's right.
So it'd be too close. I look at some of the lower ranked. I look at Brad Riddell's fighting Fiziev, right?
Yeah.
The winner of that would be cool. I don't know if he would ever fight Brad Riddell because they're, but.
But this what sucks about lightweight is that's just grapplers and grapplers and grapplers.
I know, so many grapplers, dude. They need to make knees to a they should change the rule to a knee to a down opponent, in one.
Yeah.
You look at how Demetrius Johnson lost.
He got sent to the shadow realm.
Got sent to the shadow realm with a knee because he was down. And after the fight, they're like, "Do you think that was like do you like the rule?" And he's like, "Yeah, man. I was careless and I got caught with a shot that I probably shouldn't have." It's like all these wrestlers. It's like I understand that it's a part of the sport, but a lot of the times it can be boring. And okay, it's like it's like people get so mad when you say that, but it's like you got to think about it from a casual standpoint too. We're more into the sport than a lot of people who watch these fights. A lot of my friends that watch these fights are casual MMA fans. And when there's a fight that the people just wrestle, they're so bored, dude. They're like, can we get some strike? They're like, can we got to turn this off.
I know it stinks because it's so interesting to watch.
Yes. You and me watching it, we see the battle that's happening on the ground, but a lot of the casual fans, the fans that they're trying to grow the sport with don't get it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you added a knee to the ground opponent, a downed opponent rather, that would add so much intrigue because wrestlers would have to worry about knees all the time. And I think it would be good.
It would be good. It was good, Breck. Jan Sandhagen.
Dude, it was so good, dude.
This is everything we wanted to be.
Not going to win fight of the year, but it should be up there.
It should be in the conversation.
Yeah.
This was amazing.
Dude, Corey Sandhagen almost threw 500 punches. Like, he almost threw Max Holloway level output. Now, if he just landed a little bit more, he might have won. But
I mean, if we look at the stats per round,
he landed more strikes, got another more takedowns, but he was lightly touching him. Jan landed the big shots, dropped him too. I think if Jan doesn't drop him the few times that he did, it's a closer fight. But those knockdowns won him those rounds. You know what I mean?
Dude, those combinations that he puts together are.
Yeah, we got to start talking about Jan and like I hate the whole like who's the best striker in the MMA, and everybody's like, oh, he's better than Izzy. Izzy's better. It's like these guys are they're all in the class of their own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, his body work was insane, dude. That left hook to the body Jan was hitting was brutal. And that kick that he was hitting, Corey's ribs were so red.
Corey's also pasty.
Yeah, that's true. But he was landing insane body kicks. They were so loud.
Dude, that head kick that he landed in the middle of the 5th round, how didn't Corey get knocked out by that?
Yeah.
And then he hit him with a wheel kick.
Yeah, he hit him with the spinning back fist that dropped him, which he tried to throw earlier in the fight, but just didn't time it right. And he's so smart, Petr Yan. Like, he uses the first round to like figure you out, and then he just dominates you the rest of the fight.
And Corey Sandhagen, tried to land like clean punches on him, and
he can only pop them up.
Jan's guard is so high.
It's so high, dude.
But he blocks body shots, which is crazy. I don't know how he does it.
The one thing about Jan that people like, I get that it's hard to do because he's so good defensively. If you're gonna beat a Petr Yan, you gotta beat him with like calf kicks. You know what I mean? But nobody's been able to land consistent kicks on Petr Yan. Like, to me, Jose Aldo was doing it in their first fight, and then he just got tired, and Petr Yan's pressure made Aldo crumble. But if you remember the first Petr Yan Jose Aldo fight, Jose Aldo was landing huge leg kicks, huge, like prime Aldo type leg kicks.
Yeah, and then what's not talked about enough is his grappling.
Yeah, he's so good. Sandhagen tried what did he? He tried 6 takedowns. And
yeah.
I mean, the one he landed was not even really a takedown. Jan just got up like 10 seconds later. But dude, like, yeah, so good. What I take away from it is like no one's beating you. Like, the only guy that personally, in my opinion, could beat Jan right now is Dillashaw.
Yeah, and he barely beat Sandhagen.
That's true, but I think Dillashaw.
That's BS MMA math. I can't.
Yeah, you can't do the math. Yeah, that's exactly right. MMA math, it doesn't work like that.
Corey Anderson, it doesn't work like that, man.
Like, Dillashaw's style could beat a Petr Yan if he could keep him. Like, Dillashaw is so like
Dillashaw has no reach. That's the problem.
That's the problem. Dillashaw hits a little harder than Sandhagen. One.
Yeah, but doesn't have the volume that Sandhagen does, though.
That's true. But Dillashaw's wrestling is like on another level. You know what I mean? Like, Dillashaw's wrestling is so good that it could.
That's what they said about Aljamain Sterling's wrestling. And look what happened.
I understand, but is Aljamain Sterling's wrestling as good as Dillashaw's? I don't know,
but he's the champ. Champ.
I want to defend Aljamain Sterling more than anybody. He's a Long Island guy. He's in my backyard. I literally am like 30 minutes from him. I've given up. I can't do it. I can't defend him anymore. What he was tweeting during the fight, dude, why do you think people make fun of you? Like, what was he saying, dude, about Jan was fighting dirty against Sandhagen?
No, well, he said, my 2 sons are fighting. I'm like, dude, you are Petr Yan's son.
You were Petr Yan's son. He was destroying you before that knee. And it's like, dude, it's not a fluke win, but like, Corey Sandhagen's wrestling is not obviously the best, and obviously it's gotten better. Like, we saw it improved a little bit. I mean, he got taken down against Dillashaw, but it improved. Like, that could happen it could happen to anybody where you get your back taken and choked out. Like, Kamaru Usman's only loss was to a guy, like, it happened 30 seconds into the fight, got his back taken and choked out. It's his only loss on the regional scene. But yeah, Petr Yan, to me, is going to reign over this division for as long as he wants, with the exception of Dillashaw. For me, is the one guy stylistically that I feel like could beat him. But I just like, dude, you got to really give props to Sandhagen. He took this fight on pretty short notice.
6 weeks.
I know that's like, oh, that's not that short. For a big title fight, it is. And then 2, dude, he just went 5 rounds with Dillashaw and Petr Yan and didn't get finished. And looked good in both fights. Like, I know Sandhagen lost this fight, but he had moments where he looked good in the first round. He looked great. And you got to think for Corey, like, he'll be back. To my opinion, he'll be back fighting for a belt within a year. I think he's got to stack up some wins from guys lower than him. But
he gets 2 wins, be back in there.
Yeah, 2 wins. If he, like, I would love to see Corey Sandhagen face the loser of Font Aldo.
Yeah.
Because if Aldo won, Font versus Sandhagen would be such a banger. And then if Aldo versus Sandhagen would be such a banger as well. I mean, that's just a win-win scenario.
You know what I fear? I fear Sandhagen taking the Gustafsson story arc.
Yeah, where he like fights for the belt all those times and then just can't get back to it.
Yeah, that's what I fear.
Yeah. He's so talented though, man. His footwork's so good.
I mean, I don't know because he's so good.
Yeah.
I think those are the 2 best
game plan. Well, 2 things. His corner said he was winning after the 4th round.
That's terrible. No, he wasn't.
Terrible cornering. It's like, I'm sorry, Corey, but if you got those, like, it's not good to have yes men in your corner. Like, everybody in the world could clearly see you were down. Like, you won the first round, yes. But the next 3 rounds, you kind of got bullied. So for his corner to say that he was winning,
I was kind of surprised.
I was kind of surprised. And I feel like the best fighters have corners that are honest with them and that are like, yeah, we're down. You gotta go finish him. You know what I mean? I feel like if you told Corey in the middle of, like, if you told Corey before the 4th, going into the championship rounds, like, maybe it's close, but we got to finish him to win this fight. I think he maybe goes for it more. Maybe he gets knocked out, but maybe he gets the knockout and wins the belt. I feel like the corner did a bad job there. And he also kept looking for the knee that he landed on Edgar. And it's like, dude,
he landed it once.
He did land it, but not obviously cleanly. But it's like he kind of kept spamming it. Like he threw it like 5 times.
He kept pressing A.
He kept pressing A. It was like, dude, he knows it's coming. Okay, like, come on.
But let's talk about Petr Yan, man. This guy,
so good, dude.
Dude, Sterling's gonna get murdered.
The only time Petr Yan ever smiles, dude, is when like people are punching him. It's crazy.
Dude, he's just a savage.
He's so good at striking, dude. His takedown defense is amazing. His wrestling's underrated. His chin's amazing. Dude, he must have some insanely tough limbs too, because like you said, his guard, like he absorbs so many shots with his arms and then throws a bomb like 2 seconds later. The guy is so tough.
Dude, I still can't get over that left hook spinning back fist back to overhand left combination that he threw.
So great. They fought for like 4 seconds after the bell rang. That was amazing.
Oh my gosh. This was an awesome fight.
And you know why I kind of have a gut feeling where it's like you said, it could go one of 2 ways. Like it has the Gustafsson arc with Sandhagen where maybe he fights for the belt once, but never gets back. I kind of feel like he could fight for the belt again one day and win just because of how like Petr Yan was like, he gave like a really good review of Sandhagen after the fight. He's like, that was really tough. Like that guy's really good. So if Petr Yan says you're good,
you're good.
You're good. Like Petr Yan thinks Aljamain Sterling is like terrible.
He's probably just because he's not that great.
You know what? He's probably, yeah, like you said, he's probably not far off. Like Aldo's a really good, Aljo is a really good fighter, but I just don't know if he's a championship fighter. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's going to be a murder.
Well, I mean, you got to think Dillashaw had so many, he had tore like his LCL, MCL, ACL, like in that Sandhagen fight. That's another thing people forget too. Like Dillashaw kind of, I mean, he won the fight with those takedowns, but he got those takedowns with like one knee.
One knee.
That's crazy. You would think in the timeline of the division, Jan fights Aljo probably what, like spring of next year?
He says January or February.
January, February. That gives Aljo more time to heal up his neck. So say February, then you would think the winner gets Dillashaw just is still recovering, waits for the winner, right? Then whoever, well, you and me are calling it right now. Jan's gonna beat Sterling in the rematch. I don't have any doubts. Like, you know how you have no doubts with Amanda Nunes?
Yeah.
I have no doubts with Petr Yan anymore. Like, he's gonna beat Sterling in the rematch. I think he'll do it quick too.
2 rounds.
I think he'll want to prove a point and like start really fast and knock him out. And then I think you get Dillashaw.
Like the UFC doesn't even acknowledge Aljo as a champ.
No, I
mean, they said that after this fight, the 2-time,
yeah, which is hilarious.
Oh, Joe Martinez did a really good job.
I know people were upset that Bruce Buffer wasn't there, and Joe Martinez does do a good job. It's
not the buff.
It's not the buff. That's not even the point I'm trying to make. He has a good ring announcer voice. It just doesn't have that feel where I feel like it's a big event. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like he's very good at his job. But when I hear Bruce Buffer and when I hear like a Michael Buffer, I know it's the Buffers, but I get like this sense like, oh, this is big. This means something.
Yeah. When I hear it's time.
Yeah. But going back to the title picture, it's like Dillashaw waits for the winner of that fight, right?
Yeah.
Where does that put? I almost just said, where does Kevin Lee fit into this? And then I had to stop myself.
Where does he fit into this?
That's a good question. He just lost a wrestling match. I don't know if you saw that, but
he lost in Sug yesterday.
Lost in Sug. Man's having a tough time.
I feel so bad for this.
Down bad. I feel bad for him, honestly.
He doesn't fit in anywhere.
No. So like Rob Font versus Aldo's happening, right? 269.
Yeah.
Does the winner of that say like I want to fight Dillashaw, or does the winner of that have to wait for Dillashaw to face the? You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like a log jam. Sterling's like kind of created a big log jam almost.
Yeah. It's really tough.
It's tough.
All right. Blachowicz Teixeira. You got to feel good for Glover Teixeira, man. You know, we love Jan Blachowicz, our fellow Pole. But Glover's just the nicest guy to ever walk this earth, man. I'm convinced. This guy, damn, man. I don't know what to say. He's 42 and won his first belt.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for the absolute stud that Randy Couture is, he'd have the record. You know, Randy won it at 44, which is crazy too. But it's definitely not in the UFC's plans that Glover was going to win this fight. You know what I mean? No. He even said it after the fight. He's like, I threw a wrench into your plan. But, dude, he's gotten better. The last 6 fights, he just gets better. Over time, like, it's almost like the younger fighter who had all the athleticism, the speed and stuff, but wasn't mentally smart and would lose fights because of it. It's like now he's lost some of the great athleticism that he had when he was, you know, first in the UFC, when he fought John Jones type era. He's lost some of the physical gifts he used to have, but he's so much more smarter and like so wise with his age that he doesn't need to be that fast. You know what I mean? He could land less punches, but if he lands accurately, and we saw off the break there with that left hook, like he dominated this fight, dude. He's slow and methodical. You know what I mean? And he just beats people up. It's crazy.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen against our boy Yuri Prohaska.
We can agree. I mean, people are like, oh, if Glover gets Yuri to the ground, he's getting submitted too. I just don't know if Yuri lets it get to the ground because Yuri's just knocks everybody out. I think, like, what's the stat? Yuri Prohaska has like a 97% finish rate.
He has 27 wins and 26 finishes.
Yeah, that's just like that guy doesn't really get taken down. He just finishes fights. But to go back to our guy Jan, it's like,
where does he fit into this?
Where does he fit into this? I feel bad for our fellow Polish guy. he didn't have it. You know what I mean? That's like some nights, as you're like the greatest athletes of all time, dude. Some nights you don't have it, and it was one of those nights for Blachowicz where he never got going. You know what I mean? He never looked. He had that one little sequence where he landed an uppercut and then threw like a 1-2-3. That was it. You know what I mean?
Although he did crack him once.
He cracked it, but like there, he might have cracked him, but like besides that, he never got going. And then once it got to the ground, I mean, he made a huge mistake, dude, going for that Kimura on Glover. Why are you trying to go for a submission on a guy that is, even if you're good, he's a black belt. Like he knows how to get out of a Kimura, dude.
Yeah, and I just want to say, you know, Glover's not. No, Jan's not that good. He beat Israel Adesanya.
Yeah, I know. And he
Come on,
he won like what 9 out of his last 10 fights. So Jan's very good, but I think going to if he keeps it standing, dude, maybe he gets a knockout with his legendary Polish power.
He left it in the hotel room.
He left it in the hotel room. Maybe he did, but it was so. You wanted both guys to win, but I'm so happy for Glover, dude. You know.
Yeah, but he's not going to be happy when he's in the shadow realm with Makwan Amirkhani and Daniel Woods after Yuri Prohaska most through him.
He gives Yuri a good fight, but I think as the fight goes on, just a guy who's 28 or 29.
This has to be in the Czech Republic. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, I know. Dude, my plan is ruined. I'm so upset.
I know.
Our plan for it to be on the border, on a soccer stadium, near the woods, or they could bring in Woods. My plan is ruined. If you listened last week, you know my plan.
Our plan. We thought about it.
We thought about it. You're right. Sorry. My plan, our plan for Jan, it's ruined for now, but we could see it in a year or two. It's possible.
It's entirely possible, as Joe Rogan would say.
But I just think, like, in the world of MMA, Glover, even though he's beaten a lot of really good guys recently, he's beaten, for the most part, older fighters. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you
older fighters like
Santos,
Jan, and Smith. I mean, Smith's only like 34, but he's fought like 60 times. I think a guy like Yuri, the speed, just the youth, really gives him that factor to win.
If you look at Yuri's last 4 fights, all by knockout, he's put them unconscious.
Yeah, and it's just in the world of MMA, dude. Younger fighters beat older fighters. You know what I mean? It never happens where the older fighter continuously beats young guys. You know what I mean?
The torch will be passed.
The torch will be passed.
And Yuri will take that torch and become the UFC light heavyweight champion in 2022.
He's gonna hold it for a while.
I give him 5 title defenses minimum.
I think he could. I think he could defend it like between 4 and 6 times. I think he really could.
He's so good.
I know, like, people are like, "Oh, he hasn't even won the belt yet," but dude, like, this guy is going to win. He is so good.
Look, he sent Volkan Oezdemir to the Shadow Realm. No one has ever done that to him, I don't think.
Yeah.
And then he sent Dominic Reyes beyond the Shadow Realm.
Yeah.
I thought Dominic Reyes could have died when he landed on his neck like that.
Yeah, that was scary there for a second. And he fractured like every bone in his face.
If you didn't watch that reaction, guys, go check it out on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Hey, that got like 2,500 views. We're doing all right there.
It was pretty wild. I mean, when we saw it, we thought Reyes was like paralyzed. Like, we literally thought he died. Like, maybe not died, but like we thought he was like seriously like MMA, like could have to retire because he took such a bad shot. You know what I mean?
And he took so much damage prior to that.
So much damage.
Dude, I think that spinning back elbow is the knockout of the year.
Yeah, I would have to think so.
And the fact that he like sent the elbow first.
Yeah.
And then he like covered his eyes and then sent the other elbow into his face.
He's actually like a video game character.
And what's Glover gonna do with those teep kicks?
I don't know. That's the thing, man. It's just like he's such a problem. Glover's really good, man, too. But In the world of MMA, the young guys tend to
will beat the old guys. It's unfortunate, but
cool to see Chuck Liddell be so pumped for him too. He used to be a sparring partner. Glover used to be Chuck's sparring partner.
Hey, let's get Chuck Glover, baby.
Chuck Glover. We don't know. You never need to see Chuck Liddell fight unless it's like maybe like like some.
Let's do Submission Underground.
Definitely not. But if we saw Chuck, I want to see Chuck Liddell fighting in a movie. That's about it. Okay.
Yeah, with GSP or something.
Yeah, that's about it.
So there's no real news to report, but
any fights not announced?
No, not really. I haven't seen anything from Marcel Dorf.
No, I don't think anything really.
But
we are fast approaching one of the greatest cards of all time.
Dude, this is awesome. This is awesome.
So good.
Ian Gary, I totally forgot that he's fighting on this.
Dude, Alex Pereira's fight. Is that the Alex Pereira's fighting?
Yeah, the one who beat Izzy.
He's fighting the Greek dude this week.
Yeah.
Dude, this is like the most slept on banger. But this could be like people don't.
Mikhailidis is really good.
That's what I'm saying. People don't. And then Pereira, like I know people don't really know a lot about him. Like the guy knocked out Israel Adesanya. Like this is like. I didn't even realize till just now. This is, dude, that is such a slept-on fight.
Al Iaquinta must not be selling houses very well because he's taking a fight, bro.
Don't get disrespectful here, okay? Greatest real estate agent, Long Island. Shout out. But
no, it's Tim Dillon.
Oh yeah, well, Tim Dillon's kind of like all over the country. He's not.
We'll talk about that after.
He's not restricted to the tri-state area, but. That's a fight. Slept on. Shabazian's fighting.
Yo, we got John Valante versus Chris Barnett. Let's go.
Let's go. Chris Barnett's a beast.
He's a big boy.
I love that guy. Dude.
Shabazian Imamov, that's a good fight.
The prelims could be a fight night. Right? The
yeah.
Could definitely be a fight night.
But this main card, though.
Oh.
I'm scared for Frankie Edgar, to be honest.
A little bit.
Cheeto Vera's a dog.
He is, but I think Frankie, he's such a veteran dude.
Dude, the fact that Frankie's been ranked for like 13 years
in a row people don't realize how good Frankie Edgar is.
I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken.
His wars with Gray Maynard.
I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, Glover and Frankie Edgar are the only two fighters to be continuously ranked since rankings came out.
John Jones isn't in there?
Well, he's not ranked anymore. He's not.
Oh, that's true. But I mean,
like pound for pound, I guess.
Yeah, I would count John just because he's still there. But dude, Shane Burgos, Billy Quarantillo, great fight. And then the three. I mean, dude,
Gaethje Chandler.
Is it going to be the Trevor Whitman night again?
I think.
Yeah.
I think I call me crazy, but I think Wei Lee beats Rose.
Possibly, but
entirely possible.
It's entirely possible. Listen, Joe Rogan.
Joe.
They all fought on the same card last time, right?
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And they're fighting again on the same card. And it's like, how good is
Whitman's going to be busy, bro.
How good is Trevor Whitman? I mean, you would think two of the three fighters probably win, right? Who knows?
Yeah. I think, we'll review that. We'll preview that.
No matter what.
Yeah. We're going to talk about this very soon. Which I'm excited for.
So exciting, dude.
All right, Breck. There's no news, so we're going to sign off. Do you have any final words?
No, I do not.
Best card of the year right here.
Best card of the year. I mean, 269 is going to be great too, dude.
And then after this, we have Yair versus Holloway.
Yeah.
Dude, all right. This is awesome. All right, guys. We'll catch you later. Peace out.